Turn me up in my heads. Yeah, no, that's good. I can't feel no pressure. Woo, woo. I've been out here running crazy like I'm trying to break a record. Woo, woo. Hard to feel the pressure. Woo, woo. When you living how I'm living, you just try to do it better.
Welcome to Sessions, everyone. This is episode 2. We have a very special show today. But before we get started, we just want to say RIP and our condolences go to the victims of Thousand Oaks, California, the shooting that took place. But jumping into the show, we're going to get started with our guests. We have Steve, we have Cash, and we have Cecelia. All of us here are contributing to talk about youth sports, and we felt that these three guests contributed a lot to what we want to discuss today. So Cecelia, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do and where you coach?
Yeah. So I've been coaching youth sports for about 15 years. I coach girls basketball and boys and girls volleyball. I have coached AAU basketball for the West County Phillies, for the CSA Velocity, for the Connecticut Hawks. I coach high school sports at Brookfield High School and Danbury High School. I was the general manager at Connecticut Sports Arena for about 5 years. So I had an AAU basketball program. I started a club volleyball program there. We did soccer. Yeah, lots of stuff.
That's what's up. Cash, tell us about your experience.
I've worked with the organization DEO, so I do their recreational basketball. I've coached in the middle school division, and I did my first year in high school last year for basketball, and I also coach Trojans youth football. I grew up as a Viking. Everybody from Danbury knows, you know, that rivalry and how that was. Yeah, you know, I grew up playing Vikings, but the organization doesn't exist anymore. So I just wanted to, you know, football's a sport I love. It's given me a lot. You know, the man sitting to the left of me, it's like, you know, how I met him was through Vikings and everything like that. And I just wanted to, you know, give back to my community and help out, and just, you know, by just showing everybody, you know, the game I love and teaching the kids what they, you know, what it taught me.
Correct.
So that's really what I do. I love doing it. I coach his younger brothers this year. You know, I hope I get them another year next year. And, you know, it's just been a good time for me, man. I really love doing it. So.
That's so, man. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Steve, tell us about you.
Same. Just for the last 8-9 years, coaching youth soccer all over the greater Danbury area. You know, from Danbury, New Milford, Richfield, Newtown. Just getting involved as much as I can. Just like he said, to give back. I had a terrible ACL injury in college that kind of got me into the coaching, you know, aspect of things, and I love it. I love being able to kind of give our experience and give it back to them, and kind of help these young men and women just kind of learn from the game, because the game can give so much, and I'm very, you know, lucky to do both. Youth. I coach at Immaculate High School. I coach at Western Connecticut. I'm the director of Connecticut for the youth development program. So
that's awesome,
there's just a lot that I'm able to give back. So I'm excited to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
We actually share
VHS soccer too.
We actually share a very interesting soccer story that I don't know if you remember. We grew up playing soccer together since I was in 4th grade. My very first memory actually coming to this country was going to school with you, meeting you for the first time, and then us playing soccer together. I remember in 6th grade actually, in our youth sports, Steve Lopes' team, Coach Lopes' team, I was playing midfield and you were playing striker at the time. And there was a play, I don't remember how we got to that point, but there was a play where the ball just landed literally in the middle of the field. I don't know if you remember this. I shot it. I just shot it. Like, honestly, I wasn't trying. From midfield? I shot it.
He said, you know.
No, the field was 20 yards though, right?
Okay, fair enough.
Nah, just kidding.
I shot it. And the goalie like missed, like he went for it and it went in the net. And I was stunned. I didn't know what just happened. And I just remember Steve behind me, yes, Wesley! Yes! And it was just like the greatest feeling ever. For me, that was like my walk-off home run moment. Yeah. That's one of my moments that I'll never forget. And the fact that I shared that with you, who's a very good friend of mine.
Memories on the field or on the court.
Absolutely.
It's something you talk about
all the time.
All the time.
And forever.
That's why.
That's the best part about teammates. Is that, like, I have people in my life that I don't talk to every day, but if I saw them, I'd be like,
right away. Remember this, remember that.
We're in our
Like-
30s now, and he and I, from playing football, can walk you through an exact, like I'm talking a play, step by step,
From
exactly how that
1995.
from 1995,
You
like
guys
every
do
single
that.
thing.
You guys
We
do
bring it up
that,
all the
and
time.
it's
All
just-
the time.
I don't even know how you
It's
do
the best.
that.
And we remember these things so vividly. So like that's something that I push on these kids. Like, guys, cherish the moment. I even spoke with
Absolutely.
Danbury
Yeah,
High School football, and I
100%.
told these guys, like, look, man, I'm telling you, I'm in my 30s now. It's been like almost 15 years. I can't believe I'm saying this since I've been out of high school, and I can still meet up with my boys who I played with and like talk about all sorts of stuff that happened in these games. And it's like the bond you build, the relationships you build, these last like a lifetime.
Yes.
So like
100%.
really appreciate it and cherish it. I you know, it's really like a great thing. What sports really give to you, and like as far as building your character and you know just all
You
that
see, I
stuff.
raise
Love it.
my voice and you raise yours higher. Leave it up to you, you probably set this house on fire. Quick to run up in my face cause you think I'm a liar. Call me names, try to fight like I'm a dirty pariah. Going through it and fucking bone in these streets I roam. I'm getting money and you know it's back to you I come home. Why in the world you always mad when you know I stay true? Yeah, them other girls are aight, but they not like you. Had me locked in from the start when you gave me a heart.
Well, with that being said, I think that kind of leads to what just to be quite candid, like, why do you coach? Like,
I coach because sports is my life and it always has been. It's what I'm good at. It's what I'm the best at. And I didn't want to be done with that. So I'm not. So now I have the opportunity to take little girls like me who love it and show them what it can do for them. And like, I'm not in the WNBA. I don't play beach volleyball in the Olympics. I play on Thursday night in the men's league at the War. But I get hyped every Thursday night for volleyball, and it's, you know, like, I'll be an athlete for the rest of my life. Some of my best friends, like, yeah, we guys were close. It's all from school, but like, Steve and I worked together at CSA for like 4 years. Like, I haven't seen him in 2, but
Best memories.
that's right. That's my guy right there. So I coach because I want to show little girls that you can be strong. You can be taller than all the boys. You can be at recess and play basketball instead of hair braiding. Like, you know, like, you can, and it's okay and it's cool. And look, now I get to see her with all my guy friends and talk about sports. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. But sports, you know, it builds character. So many things that I've overcome in my life is because of the lessons I learned on the court.
Absolutely.
150%. There are so many life lessons that are taught in sports, and that's
Absolutely.
why I do it. I'm gonna be 34 on Friday, and I don't have any kids, and I'm 100% okay with that. I'm not saying I never will, but right now I don't, because I'm too busy trying to make contributing members of society with everybody else's children. It takes a village. And my mom and dad, they're not the only ones in my life. My coaches had huge impacts on who I am now and the things that I know, the difference between right and wrong. That's huge. And the way kids are nowadays, and I hate to say it, like kids these days, but right, like it's awful.
To get off my lawn space.
It's terrible.
I could attest to that because like being an educator and working with like middle school kids, like some of the kids in our school, right, they're athletes. Kids in New Haven are like some of the most athletic kids.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They're incredibly gifted, like as far as like what they can do on the field, on the basketball court. Like when kids are not able to perform academically at our school, one of the strategies that we use is, especially for me, I go to their coach.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that they hate more than going to their coach because
Because they can't
that part, like that relationship they have with their coach, it's like they're letting down more than their parents.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember Jay and I, we sat down, we sat down and we talked, and there was a kid you were mentoring, and how that, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
I use sports to get through to him. I had been coaching him, I've been mentoring him since 7th grade. I met him as a 7th grader. He wouldn't open up to me at all, and we would talk, and I try to break through, what's your family like, how many siblings you got? And he would just stare at the table, and it would be nothing for 40 minutes. And then he was in a good mood one day, and he just goes, so what's your team? And I was like, for what? He goes, NFL. I said, Tampa. He was like, ew.
Fair enough.
I said, who's your team?
somewhere.
He goes, oh, Chicago. We just beat y'all. I was like, oh, okay. And that snowballed into a relationship I still have with him as an adult. But when he would falter, I'd do the same thing. I said, I need to talk to your teachers, but I need to talk to your coach. Do you think you can do that? And I'm cool with the decision you made, and I'm going to let you play on Friday. And even though I didn't have that power, I could say something like that to kind of get the wheels turning in his head, that I need to behave in a way that I see sports as a privilege and not just something I can do.
It was for me. I like almost had perfect attendance every year. I never missed school. Because if you didn't go to school, you couldn't go to practice. And if you don't practice, you don't play. Sorry, that's not an option in my life. That's not the same as it is this
that's
year.
a big thing.
Let me ask you guys this. Is it more like, again, and even you, Jay, being a mentor, do you find yourself coaching more life or coaching more sports?
Life.
At this point.
Life.
How do you find the
to
balance?
answer your question, that's why I do it. I'm coaching life. Like, I used athletics. It's like, you guys all knew me growing up. School was not like my forte. Like, I was not like a straight A student. I wasn't like a F student either. I was right there every day. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? I was going to make sure that my grades were tight because of the reasons you're saying. Yeah. And in life, as adults now, look at it. What is our best ability? Availability. Like, you know, that's really what it is. When you fill out a job application, what are they talking about? What's your availability? Yeah. What days can you be here? What days can I count on you? Because, you know, like if you miss in practice and stuff like that and you can't play, it's not just affecting you for not being able to play. You got teammates that are relying on you. It's the same as at work. Absolutely. When you're not there to do your job, somebody else got to pick up your slack for you, and you know, and that's not fair. So I mean, like, it's a what do they call it? A microcosm. Like, sports is a perfect microcosm of life. Just like football. Like, I always tell my kids about this. When you go for a play, if a team scores on y'all, they always do this. Their heads are sagging. They're sulking. Yo, you acting like we can't go out there and score too. Right. So what? They score. Bring it back down and punch it down their throat. We can score too.
How long a game is?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like volleyball. Volleyball is you play best. Varsity plays best 3 out of 5.
Yes.
You can play 5 games.
Thank you.
You lose the first 2 games.
You still got 4
more games. You're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
You can. Just because they beat you doesn't mean
that you
can't
come
fight
back.
There you go.
And you gotta let that go. The same as like when you have, even as adults, like we have our days. Everybody got their days, right? Let it go. Move past it. When bad stuff happens, things happen. Move past it, go on to the next play, because you still got to execute tomorrow. You still got to do what you got to do moving forward.
Exactly.
It's not over yet. So as long as you got seconds on the clock, that means as long as you got seconds in life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, going along, you know, with that, it's, how many of you often hear from parents to, hey, Johnny's just not listening to me, but he'll listen to you.
Oh my God.
I get, he's just not listening to me, but you're his coach. He doesn't want to miss this. He doesn't want to miss that. Can you talk to him?
Your mom said that to me about your brothers.
It's so much more than the X's and O's and tactical things. And
so much more than that.
We do so much more.
They say about football, it's 80% mental and 20% physical. Yeah. And I mean, this is like one of the most physical sports. But there's, you know, what the mentality that goes into that. Like, yeah, you are smashing up against each other over and over again. That takes a different type of mentality to do that. You know, a level of toughness, a level of attrition that you need to have to play this game. And then you add and you factor in all the plays and all the everything else like that. Like, there's so many other things that go into it. In all sports, I feel like it's so mental. Like, even soccer, dude, I couldn't run that much without stopping. Like, I couldn't. And I can't remember what I was supposed to do it. And then,
you know, it's funny. Now I make my kids run even more. I'm like, hey, 10 laps. Here we go. What? I used to do it, so now it's your turn.
Exactly.
You gotta do it. It's the best. You know, it's not gonna hurt them. It's only gonna help them.
I know.
Your dynamic, Stephen, is a little different because you coach youth, but then you also coach college.
Yeah.
Like, how do you find the balance in what you coach your college students and your 5th or 6th or 7th and 8th graders?
And what's the difference?
Right. What is the biggest difference? Like,
I mean,
parents. How does that?
Well, no. I mean, from a parent standpoint, at the college level, it's no interaction.
They're not even there.
They earn their time. I mean, they go to the game still, and
Yeah.
of course, you hear a couple rumbles. You know, everyone wants to play, and no one wants to sit on the bench. But the culture that we've set since taking over at Western is everything is earned. You know, and every year, the players that come in, it doesn't matter if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, the best 11 will play, and the best 11 that'll help the team win will play. And then you guys have seen it, that, you know, 2 of the last 3 years that we've taken over, we've won the Little East Conference Championship, we've gone to NCAA, so it's, you know, the toughest job I had is going from that type of session and environment and then going to the youth sports and expecting them to do high-level sessions. And I'm like,
come on.
It's from here to there to there. And they're like,
why can't you do it?
Yeah, no.
So, like, I have to go from here to there?
Exactly. So, you know, it's a lot, obviously you guys know, just positive reinforcement and just kind of encouraging them to face these challenges and we set the situations and the variables out there for them to succeed, and we know how to manipulate it so that, you know, if we can give them more success or less, and that's where I think, you know, it becomes a challenge for us. Just kind of, at least for me, even high school. High school is like right in between.
Right in the middle.
You know, and there's a lot going on with high school kids. You know, I always tease, hey, girlfriends, okay, leave them out. You know, schoolwork. When we're here, we're a team. We're brothers. Exactly.
You have 2 hours on this court. Nothing else has to matter.
Exactly.
Your homework, your parents, your dog, your boyfriend, the fight you're having.
You know, there's
nothing
so much
matters.
right here.
And that's the best part.
Yeah, you could just
you
lose
get
yourself.
To just have fun and immerse yourself.
I'm glad you said that's the best
Getting
part.
better.
Yeah.
What's the worst part about youth sports? Like, what is the hardest part about your job? Like, what makes you say, I don't want to do this?
My competitive spirit. So, like, I me being that I had so much success when I was growing up, and when in my high school when I came up, we were very successful. So I just went through now with Trojans, like we just had 2 straight winless seasons. The year before we won 2 games.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So we're in that period right now where we're struggling. So it's me. I have to catch myself on the sideline, not when a bad play is made. Like, oh my God! Like, you know, I have to catch myself not doing that.
Your body language. Is
my body language.
It
is so.
apparent.
I'm holding them accountable for theirs.
Yeah.
So I have to watch myself too. So when a touchdown happens, I feel like the encouragement part is the biggest thing. I'm of the opinion that with like opportunities and encouragement, like any kid can be successful.
100%.
And like, really, as long as you give them enough opportunities and encouragement that they can actually accomplish it, I feel like that any kid can do whatever
that you
give them.
I tell my kids, like, I put you out here because
I believe
know
in
you
you
can do it. Yeah. Can you know you can do it?
You gotta
please?
think it,
You know that, like, I play the sports that I coach.
Yeah.
And I was good. I'm still good at the
Okay.
sports that I'm not.
Cecelia
Look at Matt's over here like, thank you, Matt. Thank you.
I know she's still good.
Anyways, but like my kids, that's one way that I connect with my kids because they know that. But now you guys messed me up and made me forget.
But not to gas you, that's what makes a good coach. That you can look at a player and say, I know what you got to give. And
That's
can
what
you
I'm
do
saying.
that?
Like I've done this before.
I've had experiences with coaches where they didn't have it. They didn't draw that
That's
out of
funny.
me. My favorite coaches were the ones that saw me. I was a quiet kid.
Gave you the
I
confidence.
knew what I could do.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't specialized and I could do different things. We played sports and I played how many different positions? And
everywhere.
I've been played out of position many times. And then there's sports like baseball where I was always maybe the 5th or 6th best guy on my team. I didn't peak until I was a little bit older.
Yeah.
I had a lot of all-stars on my team, a lot of travel players. So I would make the all-star team because I was like the guy that was left when they would go.
Right, when they would go.
But in season, the coach never pulled me aside and said, keep your glove down. Or, hey, get under it. Position yourself. Do this, do that. Keep your elbow up. I didn't have coaches like that. So when I got out of 8th grade and my parents didn't really push me to play baseball, I stopped. Right. And now I play softball and I love it. I have the love there because of the people. But growing up, I didn't have somebody that cultivated a confidence and a knowledge. Right. So it wasn't a sport that I loved. It was just a sport that I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Life in the jungle. Life in the jungle. Vibe.
You gotta be careful not to overcoach too. Like again, like I was talking about my competitive spirit, but one of the hardest parts is overcoaching. I am one of those people that I look at something and I look at a play and I'm telling them every single play, every rep, something that he could fix. So you got to be careful to not give him too much.
Yes.
And we have girls
Like I'm like,
that.
get your head down, get your head to the side, bend your legs, do this,
Right.
don't do that. Not like
Same
in
in
every
soccer.
single time. Yeah.
Dribble it down the line, down, cross, shoot it, shoot it. And it's like,
No,
what are we doing?
But again, like you were saying earlier, it is a microcosm for life where it's like, you know, you can have your parents or a teacher, whoever, tell you to do things, and you won't listen, even though they've been through it and they understand the experience, and they're like, if you do this, this is going to happen. You don't want that. Right. But until you've actually lived through it and you've, you know, succeeded or failed or whatever the case is, you learn for yourself. And then so in that situation, when you're talking about overcoaching, you could say, don't do this, don't put your head over there, don't overcommit, don't, you know, all these different things. But until it happens and they get burned, then they're like, oh, shoot, man.
I told you.
Coach was right. I should have been listening to coach.
But sports is the safest place to fail.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
And you don't think about it at the time when we would lose championship games.
It's tough, that's right.
We would lose championship games and I would cry my eyes out all the way home. And when you get older, you're able to put things in perspective. Whether you failed on a play, I dropped a pass in a meaningless game, or my team didn't perform in a really huge game. You know how to lose because you lost in sports, and you can put that somewhere else. And the perspective part is, I failed this one test, but it doesn't feel as bad as when I lost a championship, so I can bounce back from that. This girl broke my heart, and that hurts like way more than that drop pass, so this is pretty serious. I need to really handle this.
It gives you something, especially like kids. The Brookfield varsity girls volleyball team just finished their season on Thursday. We drove to Tolland, which is like an hour and 20 minutes away on a school bus, so it makes it a little bit
not a comfortable
longer.
ride.
That's fun.
And and they won the first. They got down like 7-1 in the first game, and we're sitting here like, oh my gosh. We drove all the way out here, and this is what it is. They tied the game 9-9 and came back and won that game. And we were like, yes, let's go, like whatever. Turned around and lost the next 3, so we were done. The seniors that are on this team were my first freshmen. Like we all came into Brookfield at the same time, so these are my babies. So I'm like walking with them to the bus after, and they're like, our middle, she got like all SWC, she's going to Gordon College to play volleyball, she's awesome. She's like, oh coach, like, but that last block, and I'm like, dude, we played 4 games, like, and not for nothing, this isn't even as good as you're going to be at volleyball. I didn't get good at volleyball until I was like 23. And like finally learned to commit and not worry about all the extra things that teenagers worry about in their brains that mean nothing. It's so true, Jay. Like, there's so many things that I can recall as a girl athlete being concerned about on game day. I don't remember my plays because I wasn't thinking about my plays. I was thinking about if my headband matched my Nikes, if my shorts were rolled too many times, and who was in the stands, and like that's how teenage girls are. It's out of control.
Are the same.
I was focused.
Oh, I know. I coach boys volleyball.
Well, with your young girls basketball that you coach, does it at all impact what's happening at the higher levels?
See,
I think you know where I'm going with this. Like you look at the NBA and the whole like, well, why do men make this and like does that at all impact how you coach your young?
It doesn't. Just because I feel that this is bad. Like I don't watch professional women's basketball. I watch men's basketball. Men's basketball is entertaining. Women's basketball is super, super fundamental. And those women, I mean, yes, they're
extremely interesting.
It is extremely interesting, but like I do that every day.
Right.
So I watch guys, and that's my own, like, people can feel however they want to feel about that. You know, I don't watch UConn women. Yeah, they're amazing. It's boring. It's not fair.
You know they're gonna win by 40. Yeah.
It's right, like exactly.
100.
Exactly, and all the starters stay in. Like you have the top 10 All-Americans every single year, and you leave your starting 6 or 7 girls. Those are the ones and you beat everybody by 100.
Yeah.
That's boring.
No,
That's great recruiting.
Yeah.
Come on.
Shout to Gino.
Shout out to Gino.
But no, you know what? With the girls, it's not really. I coach freshman girls right now, and it's life. I'm coaching life. I'm not coaching basketball. I'm coaching work hard, stick it out, practice, fail, get up, fail, get up, get yelled at. No, it's not your way.
All that stuff.
All of those.
Coaching life. I like that.
Coaching life, man. That's what it is.
With that being said, this might make you a little uncomfortable. With you saying you guys agree you coach life.
Yes.
Right? How do you look at that not, let me not say scholar, that student, not even student. How do you look at that young kid who is on his 3rd concussion and you're his coach and you're coaching life and put him back in the game? How do you like?
That's not my decision.
Right, we don't get to do that anymore.
But if you're coaching life, are you low key telling the parents, yo, I don't think your son should be doing this anymore?
I do. I mean, listen.
100%.
It's a liability for us.
Yeah, like we
That's the
have
thing.
legal responsibility.
Say that again, Jay.
What if he comes from a low-income family and you see a real future for this kid? He could really make a difference through his athletic ability.
Yeah.
But you see that he's putting himself in harm's way,
And
you have a say.
What else can he do though? That athletic ability is still there. He can still play this game. There's more ways to be a teammate or to be a part of team other than just carrying the ball or lining up on the D line. Like you can contribute and still be a part of the team and get the same.
Well, nowhere's safe on the football field. I feel like punters are getting knocked out. Like it really doesn't.
But I mean, he could even be on the sidelines.
Right.
He could do.
It's a safe game. Like everything else, there's inherent dangers, just like in any sport. You're like, I was gonna say, kids got to get concussions from.
Oh, with the headers. Soccer actually has a higher concussion rate.
Yeah,
I read that. Soccer has higher
can't
concussion.
even teach it anymore.
At a certain age group. At a certain age group now, like U11s and under, you're not allowed to head the ball.
You're not allowed to head the ball.
So,
but that's like one of the main parts of soccer.
No, correct. Which is
So you guys don't cross
we have
anymore?
these like arguments, you know, to a certain extent because it's like, okay, so we're not teaching them to head the ball, but so then what we're teaching them though is as the ball's in the air, I can't hit it. They stick their foot up, and then their foot ends up.
Right.
Correct. So we've seen plenty of fouls like that. So it's an interesting topic. I mean,
teach them the Maradona, the punch it, right? I mean that works.
Yeah. No, I mean it's true. Like you said, you know, concussions. It's a tough topic because, you know, like Cecelia was saying before, we don't really know what's truly going on inside. And whether it's the ball or sometimes you just quickly turn and run into someone, it's wild. It's a wild
it depends on the player. I've had a few of these happen over the last couple of years where but I've had two different things where one kid comes off and he's like, coach my head, and then the other kid, I see it. But he comes off and I'm like, I call timeout, I go in there, I'm like, you all right? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? So, I see that something's going on, but he looks like, it's like I saw that something happens, but he looks fine. Like, it's really hard to tell. And I'm not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, that's a real hard part too, because your competitive juices are flowing too. And maybe this is one of your best players. You need this kid right here. You know, and you're giving them the look. And that is not for nothing. I was in the generation where they called it seeing stars. We would get hit. If you seeing stars, whatever, are you all right? Yeah, give me some water. Give me some water. And let's go. Let's go win this game. Like
it wasn't. Sports different because like you guys don't have a trainer on the field.
Right. We have an EMT on site. There's no trainer on the field.
Right. Anytime in high school and I'm sure in college, like anytime one of my kids looks at the ball wrong, do you have a concussion? Go see the trainer.
Yes.
No, you can't. No, because I'm liable.
Do you think the data and like some of the information is like not hurting, like, but do you think it's getting them a little overzealous?
I was actually going to ask you, being the...
I think that's the case. I feel like there's so much information now, but I don't know. I just feel like some things have happened, but if you're playing the game the right way, these things are not going to happen. Like generally, like if you tackle the right way, you're not going to get a concussion. If you do these things the right way, you're not.
And
It's not going to happen.
When you take away our ability as coaches to teach
the
youth
right way.
how to do it correctly.
correct way.
So from U5 to U11, you're not allowed to coach how to head the ball, but in U12
And it's a high skill
so
thing.
now
But
how,
you need time to grow and learn how to do that.
Right, exactly. And so
We don't hear about the soccer too much. Unfortunately, with social media, it is all football. And that's
It's
why
so
I think
much football
even
now.
at youth sports, we keep getting players now. I mean,
From football.
incredible athletes that
Yeah.
are now joining soccer. I'm like, what'd you do before?
Wow.
I was like, oh, football, but my mom doesn't want me to play now. And,
I'm so glad you said that,
and
yo.
it's like,
true.
We're dealing with a numbers crisis right now
Losing
in the
kids.
game of football.
And Price, I was going to ask you that is based upon what you were saying with all the new information coming out, CTE, concussions,
Yep.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
They're pulling them
Are
in.
you seeing a drop in participation?
Absolutely. Flag football in the spring, huge numbers. I go up there, I'm talking, they're running 4 different fields, full games. Every kid's out there. They got 10 teams in the flag league of like kids that are like, literally like 100-something kids. We fielded 2 age groups. I had 14U this year, and there was a junior Pee Wee team. That was it. I had
That's crazy.
19
When we were
kids
little,
on my team.
When we were little, there was Trojans and Vikings all.
25
Midgets,
kids
Pee-wees,
every year on
whatever.
every level.
That's right.
89ers, junior Pee-wees,
Yeah.
Pee-wees, junior midget. 5
Our
divisions,
89er team
all
had
team
like
full.
60 kids.
Oh my God! Our
Yeah.
Just to
junior,
circle it up and take up all the
so
ball
much.
field is
That's
crazy.
our junior Pee-wee
That's
team was also
crazy.
huge. Like it was crazy. We had so many kids, and we don't even at the younger ages. You generally see the younger teams have the larger numbers because it's just like parents are signing their kid up. They don't know if they're gonna like it, so they're getting them in there young.
Yeah.
But even this year, like the junior Pee-wees had a lot of kids, but my kids, we're not seeing a lot of retaining the player.
correct.
And I think that's because of the information that's coming out.
Don't want to cut you off. We're running out of time. Quickly, before we do wrap it up, I'm just going to ask you guys quickly, are you letting your kid play contact football sport
100%.
before they get to high school? Yes or no,
100%.
Steve? Yes? If they wanted to.
If they want to, absolutely.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
my kid wants to play, and he's going to, he's 100%.
Yes, Jay?
I'm gonna teach him the right way to do it.
Baseball, guaranteed money.
I'm in the same boat. I don't know if I want my kid playing football.
Cecelia?
If they want to, absolutely.
I say no. I would lean towards other sports. I would never discourage them not to, but I would rather lean them, push them towards.
I'll push him.
baseball.
I'll push him
I mean,
into other
baseball, you
sports.
got a $300 million contract.
Basketball is where I would really push him.
Basketball
Listen,
or
I
soccer.
just
Become
want
the
you
next
guys to
Ronaldo and
know.
make $1 billion overseas.
Baseball,
like-
exactly. You could get an $8 million contract and never play a day in the major
Literally.
league.
Right. I just want you guys to know
And
for
get it
the
all.
females,
Yeah.
the Division I college golf scholarships, the most amount of scholarships that go undone every year, teach your daughter how to play golf.
Yeah.
Send her to a phenomenal Division I school and let her get an education,
Play golf.
free
Noted.
paid for, for real.
Well, there you have it.
All right.
That is officially a wrap. Sessions, episode 2. Holla.
Designated Report gave us the platform. New Villa gave us the studio platform. It's sessions, a few great minds with a plan, drawing lines in the sand, trying to find where you stand. Social media better look us up. We got the sauce, what we cooking up. It's hot takes mixed with some stone cold facts. We do it for the culture so we don't hold back. Sessions.